Hi, my name is Kiki Gonzalez. My Facebook is Kiki Gonzalez, KYKYGONZALEZ. You can also send me messages through email at YVONNER numbers 25302, no spaces, at gmail.com. I'm here today, Tuesday, February 13th, 2018, to do a video, a very important video that I feel will touch a lot of ladies and gentlemen about ACS. And I am doing this video because I'm a parent going through an ACS case that I know is unfounded, but yet it has dragged on for about 7-8 months now. So I'm doing this video to raise awareness and to put out a petition for people to sign and get aware and to help me revise the ACS system in New York City State. The reason I'm doing this video is because ACS is not an organization to unify parents and families, especially minorities. There are a lot of loopholes in their system. There are a lot of problems with their workers and facilitators and facilities, and no one is saying or doing anything about it, and that needs to change. These are people and individuals who are dealing with my children and other children as well. It might be your child that they're also dealing with, and they're not dealing with your child or conducting your child properly. Your children have maybe been fine and happy, and being into the system has damaged your children and my children in so many ways. And it's unfortunate that no one wants to do anything about it and no one wants to say anything about it. And I don't know why, but I need that to change. Not just for my case and myself and my family, but for maybe your family or someone you know family as well. I'm doing this video to let everyone know what's going on with me. I'm going to say a lot of things. I might veer off topic, so if I do, I apologize. So just leave me any comments. If you're a lawyer and you are a certified lawyer for New York State, which I will ask for credentials. If you do decide to contact me via email or via Facebook Messenger, that is fine, but I will check credentials. And if you would like to help or take my case pro bono, I would appreciate it and kindly thank you. So getting right into the video. In New York State, there are a lot of things wrong with the ACS system, especially for minorities, I personally feel, which is my personal opinion. You are not allowed to spank your children. I don't mean abuse them. There is a difference between abuse and there's a difference between discipline. Abuse: punching, slapping, kicking, stomping, choking, throwing your child against the wall, anything within that. Corporate punishment: kneeling on rice, balancing heavy books on top of your head. Those are harsh punishments and are considered, in my personal opinion, are also abuse. What's not abuse to me? A pluck on your child's hand, a pop on your child's hand, which is like, a little pop on your child's hand. Not hard, not to the point where you're breaking their wrists or bruising them or marking them. And a firm spanking on the butt with your hand or with the belt. 2 or 3 pops, pat, 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 get up, get yourself together, and go think about what you did. That's how I was raised. That's how a lot of people from the 90s and before those times was raised. We were actually disciplined with other items other than hands and belts, and we turned out just fine. I have respect for people. I say please, thank you, excuse me, sir, ma'am. I'm a very genuine person. Whoever knows me, if you see this video and you know me, I'm finally doing a video. I'm letting everybody know what's going on, because this ACS system in New York State is not what the acronym ACS stands for. It's not doing their job. No one is doing their job. No one wants to give information about who the founders or the board members of ACS are, so you could contact them about their rules and regulations and work together as a parent with them, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. Supposed to be working together with ACS if you need help, if you need assistance, but that's not what ACS is there for, and that's not what they're doing. Also, ACS has been the foundation of personal disputes between not only parents but family members, and maybe former friends or someone that you knew, someone you didn't know, anyone who knows your address and who knows your name. If you have an issue with someone, you're no longer fighting them, you're no longer talking out like an adult, you're calling ACS on them and you're trying to get their children removed from their home. And ACS needs to realize that if you are investigating the parent for allegations, you should also investigate the person making the allegations. If that person is sincere, they will have no problem going under investigation. They will have no problem answering questions. They will have no problem being interviewed. They will have no problem taking drug tests. They will have no problem doing anything that is required of them if the allegations that they called in for and made are true. I understand with being anonymous and staying anonymous, but you are ruining someone's life. If you're trying to help, that's understandable. Then you need to make it known that you're trying to help. You, regardless of whether you tell me your name or not, if you are an anonymous caller, they are not allowed to disclose your information to the person that you made the case against. I agree with that because I understand you call ACS and someone lashes out, and it turns into a bigger situation and a more life-threatening situation. I can understand that. I feel that ACS should also investigate whoever calls and makes a call to change that policy that you can call and not be questioned or interviewed or anything that has to deal with that case. Because as a person calling ACS, you are inviting the government into someone's home to basically clarify if they are meant to be a parent or not. And you don't know what anyone's going through. And if you're doing it maliciously and you don't care, you are the problem. And you are the reason that I'm making this video. And in my case, this is what happened in my case. My children's father has whatever feelings he has that are not positive towards me, and he decides to use my children as pawns in whatever his vendetta may be. To make matters even worse, he has family members that help him with his malicious act in my personal ACS case that I'm currently going through and have been going through since August of 2017. Let me clarify one thing. My children were not taken from me. I put them into ACS custody because where I was living at was not suitable for them because I have one of those many, many, many terrible apartments that has been gifted to me by the New York State by their programs. So with that being said, that was enough. That'll be another video that I'll make later on about the programs in New York City and how no one accepts them, and it's basically very hard for you to find a place to live and to raise your children in a very good and well community where there's no violence, there's no fights, and none of the recklessness that goes on in the urban community. And I'm sorry, as Black people, we really need to get it together. Like, if you want to come with me and we want to do stuff together, please send me a message. Let's meet, let's talk, let's FaceTime. We need to come together. It's every other, race and ethnicity coming together to better themselves, and us as Black people, we need to. And me, I am taking that first step. I don't care if you're Black, if you're Puerto Rican, if you're Muslim, if you're Indian. Muslim's not a race. It is a, religion, Muslims. And I say that because not just, Arabic people are Muslim, which is a stereotype. Anyone can be Muslim. It's a choice of religion. I'm just putting it out there. So with that being said, continuing, ACS has a lot of things wrong with it. With that being said, my children's father decided to make allegations and have my children say and repeat allegations. And instead of him calling and making the report, he had his mother call and make the claim and allegations for my children on behalf. And the allegations wasn't against me. No, not me. They were against my husband. So with that being said, people who are using ACS maliciously to ruin other people's life because you have any vendetta against them, you really need to find something to do. You need a hobby. You need to meditate. And you need a life. You seriously need a life. You need a life. Honestly, you need a life. With that being said, because of the conditions of my home, I decided to give my children into ACS custody with instructions of them to be placed with my mother or with my sister. The reason that I did that is because financially, they would need support for my children that I will not be able to provide. That is the reason that I did it that way. I did it the right way so that my parents can have my children, or my older sister, can have my children, and they will also have the funds and financials that they need to not only support my children but support themselves as well, because I know that they might need help or whatever or anything too, and I don't mind that. If you're taking care of my children first and everything is okay, and if there's money or whatever left over and you need something, then by all means. So those are the people who I felt comfortable leaving my children with. ACS decides to place my children with their paternal aunt, which is their father's sister, who has not seen my children in years due to me. I have not allowed a relationship between the two because of her state of mind and her unbiased opinion of me as a person. Me and my children's father have not been together since 2015. It is 2018. Since that time, things have been uphill, downhill, and I also have a domestic violence against my children's father. He was abusive when we were together, and at that time, I was in a niggerish state of mind. I thought that living in a hood and, having all of these things that came at a price was okay, and they weren't. And as I got older and I started realizing that my sons were seeing a lot that I never wanted them to see, I decided to take myself and my children out of that situation and to leave their father. Once I did that, that is when a lot of issues happened, and which led to my ACS case. With that being said, ACS decided to place my children with the father's sister, the paternal aunt. She has not allowed me to speak to my children. She has not allowed them to call me. She doesn't allow any contact between us whatsoever. The first time that I got a call from her, it was not in pertaining to my kids. It was pertaining to the past tense relationship that I had with her brother, which was irrelevant when it has to do with my children. With that being said, I'm making this video so that everyone with the ACS case can sign a petition. Not everyone, because some of y'all may need it. Some of y'all may need this ACS case. Y'all doing these babies wrong. It's winter, it's cold, and y'all have these kids out here with slippers on and socks on. It's not cute. They need a coat, they need gloves, they need hats, they need scarves, they need socks, they need boots. It's still winter. It's not spring. It is not 70 degrees outside. It is not nice. They need to be weather appropriate. And sending your children outside of the home, and I don't care if they're Nike slippers. I don't care if they're Gucci slippers. They're slippers. They're open. It is freezing outside. I don't care if they have 6 pair of socks on. Children need to be weather appropriately dressed. Some of y'all need some ACS cases. And a lot of people that need ACS cases don't have ACS cases. But the parents like myself that love their children and take care of their children and have their children in their soul, I'm having issues, not even with me being a parent, but me having an issue with my children's other parent because of emotional and personal issues that that person has. So with that being said, ACS decides to place my children with the paternal aunt, which I feel is a conflict of interest. I feel the children should be with a mutual party so that everyone can see the children and participate in the children's life. I don't want my children raised wrong. I want them to have respect. I want them to say please. I want them to say thank you. If they're going somewhere or walking down the street and someone is their way, excuse me when they are walking by. I want my children to have respect. I was raised that way, to have respect and to have manners and to be polite. And I'm going to raise my children the same way. Not only to have manners and be polite, but to be a good person, to be a positive entity and aura in this world, because there are so much negative and negative people in this world. And they will bring your children into it and use your children and not care and still sleep and still go about their life, and your life is in shambles. Your children's lives and emotions and minds and bodies and spirits are broken, and these people are just going about their lives and going about their business like nothing ever happened and nothing ever changed for them, while your life is ruined. And ACS is a part of that. ACS will allow it. ACS will have you take drug tests and hair follicle tests for marijuana, but those same tests are not administered to foster parents. That needs to change. Also, if you spank your children or discipline your child in any physical way, it is considered abuse. If you do not discipline your child in any physical way, and you just verbally talk to them, not even abuse, because they can say certain things that you say as abuse as well. So if you do not say anything authoritative to your children, or if it's really necessary, a spanking, and your children are out of order, they don't listen to you, because only thing they will get is maybe privileges revoked, snacks revoked, anything that they see as fun or anything that is a privilege revoked, and they're still unorderly, and they become an issue to society, now you're neglecting your child because you failed to parent them properly. It cannot be both ways. You cannot tell me if I discipline my child, not abuse, but discipline my child, that it is abuse. But when I don't discipline my child the way I feel that I should, which is not abuse, that I'm neglecting them if they act disorderly. I'm raising 4 black sons. If I don't discipline my child, and they're not listening to me because the only thing I'm doing is talking to them, giving them time out, taking away snacks, taking away trips, taking away toys. If those things do not work, and discipline and structure do not work, and my children act orderly, when they go to prison, because they will, they have no problem sticking our sons and our fathers and our brothers in prison and overpopulating the prison with our children and with our men and with our brothers. What do you think is going to happen when they get into prison? They're going to get beat by the wardens, by the squad or whatever you want to call it, that come in the armored gear anytime there's a disturbance in prison. And they're going to beat your child. They're going to beat your son. They're going to beat your men, the black African American men. They're going to beat them. And they're not going to beat them to discipline them. They're going to beat them to break them down. And when they're going there, they're going to have so many issues, because being disorderly and not having any structure at home leads to your sons and my sons being incarcerated. And I will never let that happen. I will never see my son behind bars because he was not raised properly. He did not have any structure in his life. He did not have anyone there that was by his side 110 million%. Because I will die for any of my children. Any of my children. They are my souls and my heart, and I love them, and they are what gives me life and what give me meaning, and I would die for them. And if you feel the same way that I do, and as passionate and emotional and loving and caring about your children as I do, please help me sign this petition and start a petition to change the way ACS is authorizing their rules and regulations to parents. There needs to be a change, and there needs to be a change now, not when a child dies in custody because ACS failed to listen to something that the parents said. My children are not going to be the next example. A perfect example is Nix Mary Brown, a child that died in her parents' custody because of failed attempts of ACS. Another human being, worker, failed to do their job diligently and professionally, which happens to be a lot of workers. A lot of workers do not do their job at all whatsoever. You need to check every inch of information that is important to the case. When you are dealing with children that are with their parents and there's not both biological parents, you need to find out what happened between those parents. You need to find out if there's any domestic violence dispute. You need to make sure that those kids are placed in the most safe and loving environment they can be. Emphasis on safe and loving. Not because they're getting a check, not because they're getting a check, not because they are getting a check. Because they love the kids and they want what's best for them. Take away the financial stability that the government gives foster parents, and 99% of children in foster care in New York City State would not have anywhere to go. There are children who are in group homes because they have nowhere to go. Because no one wants them. Because they're too old. They come with too many issues. They're teenagers. All children need love, regardless of age, regardless of circumstances. All children need love. They need that parent that's, you know what, I will go to hell and back for my child. Because I will. Every child needs that. Everyone needs that. Someone there that shows that they love them. Not just say it, but shows that they love them. ACS has required me to take a drug test because I have admitted to smoking cannabis, marijuana, bud, weed, whatever you may categorize it as. I smoke it. I smoke it for recreational purposes. I smoke it for medical purposes. I smoke it for migraines. I smoke it for premenstrual cramps. I smoke it for headaches. I smoke it for depression. I smoke it when I'm angry. It helps me. It has been scientifically and medically proven to help. To help. There are no deaths from marijuana use alone. And it is not, I repeat, it is not a gateway drug to other drugs. There are no deaths. Other drugs, you will die. It will mess you up medically, physically, mentally, emotionally. There is no way possible you could take something safe into something hazardous. That doesn't happen. There are too many different strains and levels of THC in marijuana that you have to do other drugs. If you do other drugs, if you have done other drugs, it's because you wanted to do other drugs. Or God forbid, there are instances where people have, have been spiked and have, been laced. And I'm so sorry and I feel for you, and that's really messed up. And I'm so sorry. For people who have knowledge of what they're doing and are willingly doing it on their own. If you are taking or doing any other drug, you are doing it of your own free will. And doing something once for a party or something like that, and you having a good time, maybe drinking something, a drink you've never drunk before or something like that, or whatever the case may be, or if you're in that college stage, or if you're in that life stage where you're experimenting and you try, no, I can't say, I'm taking that back, because I'm never going to try crack, I'm never going to try heroin, I'm never going to try freaking Molly, I'm never going to try shrooms. I don't want to hallucinate. I see enough stupid stuff going on. I don't want to see stupid stuff in color, different type of colors, purple and orange and polka dot. I'm good. I don't even know if that's what you see. I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to try. I'm just saying that, putting that out there. With that being said, weed is not a gateway drug to other drugs. Weed is the most happiest plant on this earth, and it has actually been here before we've been here. It was here when dinosaurs were here. Marijuana was here when dinosaurs was here, before we was here. So I don't think nothing's wrong with it. I think it's very good for you. It has not ever been recalled. It doesn't help you with headaches, migraines, and all that. Side effects are this, that. No, it doesn't have all of that. So with that being said, that is why I use marijuana. And I don't think anything's wrong with it. But now I have to stop. Oh, main thing, marijuana helps me with depression. I don't know if I stated that, but if I did, I'm reiterating. So with that being said, if I have to take a drug test and there's something wrong with me smoking marijuana, then I feel the foster parent should have to take a drug test as well. Any regulations you have for me, you should have for the parent as well. I feel like there should be a wider search and investigation done on these cases. A lot of information that has been said and has been given has not been used. When I've given information and proof that my children's father and his family maliciously called ACS on me of a malicious act, not of a caring act, not of their heart, but maliciously. And those statements and that proof has went unanswered, unheard, or uncared about. I just want to change that. I want ACS to help you. What if you have a really messed up predicament and you have no family? You come from a different country or from a different state and you really need help and you need assistance. Where can you go? What can you do? So if you have any comments, if you have anything you want to add, if you want to help me in this petition, I will be posting videos, a whole lot of videos that have something to do with ACS and the programs from New York City State to other things as well. It'll just be random things on my page. But my main goal and my main agenda is to change ACS in a positive way. That ACS actually stands for the Agency of Children's Services, or whatever the A stands for, but I believe that's what it is, or Association of Children's Services. It's to the point where your child can curse you out and do whatever they want to you when they get of that age where they feel like they don't have to listen to any authority. And now you're stuck. Because if you discipline your child, they take your child away from you, and you just want the best for your child. You want your child to grow up and have better than what you had, than your circumstances, than what you're going through. And that's what I want to and still want for my children. And am I getting any help? Am I getting leeways? My lawyer doesn't do anything whatsoever to help my case. Whatsoever to help my case. We don't have any contact, and I understand I'm not the only client that he has. And I respect that. But if you have information that can help me, help myself, by all means, give that information. I'm an adult. I can do footwork and do faxes and emails and whatever I need to do. I will do it. But give me that help. Give me that information. Don't just say to do things that aren't required of the other person that has my children in their custody. You can't tell me I got to get a psych evaluation. Yes, I'm depressed. I don't have my kids. Yes, I was depressed before. I was dealing with the loss of a child at the time that my children were, put into ACS care and custody. What can I say? I'm human. I lost a child. I'm going to hurt. I'm going to cry. I'm going to be emotional. I'm going to have moments where I want to maybe hug my children and baby them and shelter them a little bit more. Because there's another child that I wish that I can do that with also that I'm never going to get the opportunity to. So with that being said, just help. Help me and help my case and help other families and other parents get their children back who are missing their children dearly. And the children are missing their parents. Excuse me, because it just really gets to me that people can actually use children for personal vendettas and are okay with it. And they will have other knowledgeable, common sensible adults helping them to shatter children's life. You're not just ruining my life. I'm an adult. I can deal with things on my own. I can hold my own in any situation I've ever been given or faced. I've made it this far in life and I'm 28. But my children can't defend themselves. That's what I'm there for. To defend them. To be there for them. To have their back no matter what. Whether they right or they wrong. And when they wrong, to make sure I tell them to the side that, babe, what you did was wrong. I have your back. But you need to make better decisions. I am a sensible person. I'm not going to get physical with anybody. But when it comes to my children, all cordiality goes out the window. Every single time it's going to go out the window. Because no one is going to do anything to my kids. My children. And if you love your kids how I love my kids, share this video. Like this video. Help me change the way and things that are going on with parents who don't need to have their children taken away. who love their children, who think and dream about their children every day, being something successful, being something beautiful. And it's not the typical, I want my son to be a doctor, I want my son to be this. I want my son to be whatever makes him happy, whatever makes them happy. I want them to have everything I have growing up. I just want them to be happy. I want them to have happy lives and happy childhoods. And they're not right now. All I need anyone and everyone to do that sees this video, share it, like it, comment. You want to say something personal to me, you want to talk to me, whatever the case may be, I'm here and I'm trying to make everyone aware. Thank you.